Highways are places of movement, endless stretches of asphalt built to take us from one city to the next. By day, they look harmless, but at night, they change. They become empty corridors of fear, roads that feel alive, watching, waiting. Thousands of accidents happen on highways every year, and with them, death, tragedy, the kind of lingering energy that doesn't just disappear. That's why so many roads have stories, not of potholes or speed traps, but of paranormal, of screams heard through the static of a car radio, of figures standing in the middle of the lane only to vanish in an instant. These are not just highways, they are open graves, pathways haunted by those who never made it home. Tonight we take a drive through the darkness, and you might think twice before traveling alone at night. For decades, travelers through the deserts of New Mexico, Arizona, and Colorado feared a road with a number cursed since biblical times, Highway 666. It was nicknamed the Devil's Highway, and its reputation was earned. Drivers told stories of phantom trucks appearing in their rear-view mirrors, headlights bearing down on them, engines roaring, only to vanish as suddenly as they appeared. Others reported black hellhounds, creatures with glowing eyes running alongside their cars, scratching at their doors. To see one was said to mean death. And then there were the shadow figures, people who appeared inside moving cars, sitting silently in the passenger seat, watching, until fading into thin air. But the most chilling accounts came from the drivers themselves. In the late 1990s, a woman reported being chased for nearly 10 miles by a massive truck. Its lights grew brighter and brighter until they were almost blinding. Desperate, she pulled onto the shoulder to let it pass, but when she looked back, the truck was gone. No skid marks, no sound, nothing. Another driver claimed to stop at a rest area, only to hear growling inside his window. He swore he saw a black dog clawing at his car door, leaving deep scratches in the paint. The next morning, he found the marks still there. The accidents on this road were real. Fatal crashes plagued Highway 666 for years. So many that in 2003, officials named it Route 491 to calm public fear. But those who drive it at night say the name change didn't matter. The Devil's Highway remains cursed. And if you find yourself chased by headlights on an empty desert road, you may already be part of the legend. In Scotland, a lonely stretch of road known as the A75 Kinman Strait has been called the most haunted highway in the country. For more than 50 years, drivers have reported the same chilling phenomena. Phantom animals bolting across the road only to vanish before impact. A woman running into the headlights screaming, who disappears in an instant. Entire phantom caravans, carts pulled by horses, people walking beside them, materializing in the night before dissolving like mist. One of the most famous encounters happened in 1962. Two truck drivers, Derek and Norman Ferguson, were traveling late at night when they saw a couple walking in the road ahead of them. They slammed the brakes, terrified they would hit them. The truck shook violently as if it had collided with something, but when they jumped out, the road was empty. No bodies, no damage, nothing. And they weren't the only ones. Drivers still report phantom figures crossing in front of their cars, vanishing a split second before impact. Some describe entire groups of people dressed in old clothing, walking silently, and then dissolving into the mist. Scotland calls it their most haunted road for a reason, because every time headlights cut through the Kinman Strait, something is waiting. In northern British Columbia lies one of the darkest roads in the world, Highway 16, better known as the Highway of Tears. Since the 1970s, dozens of women, mostly indigenous, have vanished along this desolate stretch. Hitchhikers, travelers, and locals who were never seen again. Many remain unsolved. The tragedies are real. Families still mourn. But along with the grief came stories. Stories of the road itself being haunted. Drivers say they've seen women standing on the roadside waving for help, but when they stop, there's no one there. One man in the late 1980s claimed he picked up a young woman hitchhiking. She sat quietly in the passenger seat staring ahead, but minutes later, when he glanced back, the seat was empty. He drove straight to the police in shock, only to learn that several women had gone missing near that very spot. Others hear voices, whispers bleeding through their car radios, even when the dial is turned off. Some describe headlights failing, engines dying, as if the road itself doesn't want them to leave. And then there are the lights, strange floating orbs drifting through the forest, following cars before vanishing into the dark. The Highway of Tears is more than a place of human evil. It feels alive, heavy, cursed. Every mile of asphalt soaked in grief and sorrow. Every turn a reminder that some roads never let go of their dead. And that's why many locals refuse to drive it at night. Because the missing may still be there. And they want you to see them. Interstate 4 in Florida looks ordinary during the day. But near Sanford, there is a 1-mile stretch known as the Dead Zone. The reason is simple. This road was built directly over an old cemetery. In 1886, a Catholic colony fell to yellow fever. The dead were buried, but never properly moved. When the highway was built, their graves were paved over. From the moment it opened, accidents piled up. Fatal crashes, sudden car failures, a death rate 4 times higher than nearby stretches of road. But it's not just accidents. Drivers report radios going haywire, picking up ghostly voices and static. Some hear whispers calling their names. In the 1970s, a truck driver claimed a woman appeared in the passenger seat of his rig. She didn't speak, she only stared. He panicked, swerved, nearly flipping his truck, but when he stopped, the seat was empty. He never drove the Dead Zone stretch again. Others say radios have picked up unexplained Latin chants while crossing the bridge, sounds no station was broadcasting. And many describe an overwhelming sense of dread, as if unseen hands are pulling cars off the asphalt. The curse of the I-4 Dead Zone is tied to the graves beneath it, and as long as cars speed across the bones of the dead, the haunting continues. This is more than a haunted road. It is a cursed one. Highways are supposed to take us places, but these only lead to fear. The Devil's Highway of the American desert, the phantom-filled roads of Scotland, the tragic Highway of Tears, and Florida's cursed Dead Zone. Some roads are haunted by myth, others by memory, and some by the dead themselves. So the next time you're driving alone at night and headlights catch something in the dark, ask yourself, is it a trick of the road, or is something waiting to be seen?